morning, my dear students. Welcome to online classes. Yesterday we have discussed about normality, mole fraction, and that is a relation between normality and molarity. Okay. Today, problem based on mole fraction. Based on mole fraction. So as I said yesterday, what is mole fraction? So mole fraction, the ratio of the number of moles of one component and the total number of moles of all components in a solution is called mole fraction. So here number of moles, how to calculate number of moles of solute or solvent? So that is weight of solute by molecular weight of solute. Then only get the number of moles. The ratio of number of moles of one component and total number of moles of all components in a solution. For example, the solution which contains two components, consider A and B. Number of moles of A and number of moles of A and B. The ratio of number of moles of A, that is mole fraction of A. We can written as what? Number of moles of A by number of moles of A and B. Right. So based on mole fraction, we have solved one problem, that is calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol. Formula is C2H6O2. Keep remember this formula, then only you can calculate molecular weight. If you don't know this formula, you can't calculate the molecular weight. Okay. Calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol C2H6O2 in a solution containing 20% of C2H6O2 by mass. It means what? 20% of ethylene glycol C2H6O2 by mass means what? 20% means 20 by 100. It means what? 20 grams of ethylene glycol present in 100 grams of solution. 100 grams of solution means the total weight of solution is how much? A percent indicates what? 100. The solution weight is 100, in which 20 means what? Weight of solute. So now, what is the weight of solvent? So 100 minus 20, that is equal to 80. That is weight of solvent, that is water. So that is why I wrote here. 20% of ethylene glycol means 20 grams ethylene glycol present in 100 grams of solution. 100 grams of solution. It means what? Solution weight is 100 grams and weight of the solute is how much? 20. So it gives what? 80. It means what? It is solvent. Solvent, that is water here. Here 20 indicates what? Weight of solute. Weight of solute. Weight of solute plus solvent. Now we can written as 100 is equal to minus 80 plus 20. How much? 100. So weight of solute to solvent is equal to solution now. 20% means what? Weight of solute present in 100 grams of solution, but you don't know weight of solvent. Now you have to subtract 20 from 100, then you will get the weight of solvent. Right? So now coming to problem. Now we can written as right. Now weight of solute. Here solute is what? Ethylene glycol. How much? 20 grams. And molecular weight is 62. How it is calculated? C2H6O2. So here how many carbons? 2 carbons into molecular weight of carbon is 12 plus 6 hydrogens. Molecular weight is hydrogen is 1 and 2 oxygens. Right? Molecular weight of oxygen is 16. 12 2s are 24 plus 6 plus 32. Now it gives what? 62 grams. Yes. Now it is equal to what? 62. This is molecular weight of ethylene glycol. Now, so solute, about solute is completed. Now coming to solvent. Here solvent is what? Water. Weight of water is how much? 80 grams. 100 minus 20. It gives what? 80. That is indicates what? Weight of solvent. But here solvent is what? Water. Then weight of water molecule. So oxygen weight is 16, hydrogen is 2. Here 2 hydrogens, no, 2. 16 plus 2, 18 grams. Now what is the mole fraction? So formula, number of moles of one component by number of moles of all component. But here what we calculate? Mole fraction of ethylene glycol. So mole fraction of ethylene glycol. Mole fraction is denoted by chi x. C2H6O2 is equal to number of moles of ethylene glycol by number of moles of ethylene glycol plus moles of water. So that is N ethylene glycol by N ethylene glycol plus N water. Now how to calculate? N means number of moles. Number of moles of ethylene glycol is equal to weight of ethylene glycol by molecular weight. So weight is how much? 20 grams. Molecular weight 62. It gives what? 0.322 moles. That is NC2H6O2 value. Simultaneously, same way you have to calculate NH2O. NH2O means what? Weight by molecular weight of the water and molecular weight of water. Weight of water is how much? 80 grams. Molecular weight is 18. So 80 by 18 is equal to 4.444. Now, mole fraction of ethylene glycol. Now we can write as XC2H6O2 is equal to N ethylene glycol by N ethylene glycol plus N water. Now we have to substitute the values. We finally got ethylene glycol is right. This is the calculation of mole fraction. First you have to calculate N, number of moles of solute and solvent based on the given data. Then only have to calculate. So in this this kind of problems you have to keep remember the solute, the respective solute, the molecular weight and solvent molecular weight. Okay na? So weights are already based on given data you can find easily, but the molecular weight can't. So that is why in solution you have to keep remember all molecular weights of solutes and solvents. Right. So this is methods of expression, concentration expression is over. Now next topic is solubility. So what is solubility? So how many types of solubility? What is saturated? What is unsaturated? What factors to affect the solubility? Right. So what is Henry's law? What are the Henry's law applications? Okay, we'll discuss today. Okay, right. So next one is solubility. So what is solubility? Solubility means the maximum amount of substance, either solute. Substance means here solute that can be dissolved in the specific amount of solvent at specific temperature is called solubility. So the maximum amount of solute if you take, you have to dissolve in the specific amount of solvent at particular temperature and pressure. That is called solubility. So one more definition is there, that is solubility of solute. What is solubility of solute? Here we took the substance. Here instead of substance we have to take solute. So that is the amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent. So the amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent at same temperature, means at a given temperature, is called solubility of solute. So is called what? Solubility of solute. So actually the solubility is classified into two types. How many types? Two types. So first one is solubility of solubility of solids in liquids. Solubility of solids in liquids. Second one is solubility of gas in liquids. So solubility of based on the solute particles dissolved in solvent. Okay, so there are two types. That is what solubility of solids in liquid, the solubility of gas in liquid. So now coming to solubility of solids in liquid. Generally here solids are solute particles here. So generally solids are present in solid state. Now how they are dissolved? For example, as you know, first year explained, that is like dissolves like property. It means what? Like dissolve like property means what? For example, if you take water, for example, if you take NaOH, sodium hydroxide. Now the sodium hydroxide is dissolved in water, but not like benzene and ether. For example, benzene. NaOH. So if you take NaOH, it is dissolved in water, but not dissolved in benzene. That means what? It is a polar solvent. No, water is a polar solvent. This is a non-polar. That is a polar solvent, polar solutes dissolved in polar solvents only, but not non-polar. For example, if you take naphthalene, if you take any organic compound, so for example, if you take naphthalene and phenolphthalein, all these are dissolved in ethers. Why? Because here these are the organic compounds are non-polar solvents, dissolved in non-polar solvents only. Non-polar compounds are solute particles dissolved in non-polar solvents. Solvent particles, polar solvents dissolved in polar solute particles dissolved in polar solvents. Polar solutes dissolved in polar solvents or polar solution. Whereas non-polar solutes dissolved in non-polar solutions. That is called like dissolve like property. Like dissolve like property means similar properties compounds are dissolved same as, dissimilars are not dissolved. So that is, so when the solute particles are, the solution with some solute particles are dissolved. Solute particles are dissolved under same temperature and pressure, it is called unsaturated solutions. When solute particles are dissolved in under same temperature and pressure, that is called what? Unsaturated. What is saturated? The solute particles which no more solute can be dissolved. No more solute can be dissolved in where? In same in solution. That means what? At this same temperature and pressure, that is called what? Saturated. It means what? When the solvent is dissolved in solvent, means what? That is going to dissolve. That is called what? Unsaturation. Which is going to be dissolved. If no more solute can be dissolved, means what? It is what? Saturated. Means there is solvent cannot dissolve. Means cannot dissolve by any other. So that means what? No solute can dissolve. So that is called what? Saturated. Saturated means what? Solute and solvent, they are in an equal position. Here what? Unsaturated means what? Dissolved solute is very less than solvent. Then only they can dissolve. Right? So this is saturated, unsaturated. Now dissolution. What is the dissolution? When solute is dissolved into solvent or solute is added to the solvent, some solutes dissolve and its concentration is increases in solution. When the solute, the amount of solute is greater than solvent, then the solute concentration is increases in solution. This process is called dissolution process. So this is the solubility of solids in liquids. Solubility of solids in liquids. How they are soluble. So what are the factors to affect the solubility of solids in liquids? First one is temperature, second one is pressure, third one is lattice energy, fourth one is heat of hydration, and fourth one is the nature of the solute and solvents. Solute and solvents. So first one we have to see how the temperature is affected. When solubility of solid in liquids increases with increase of temperature, the solubility of solids in liquids increases with the rise in temperature. For example, if you take 5 grams of sugar dissolved in 100 ml of water. So this is a beaker which containing 100 ml of water, and in it dissolve 5 grams of sugar. Now normally it is dissolved. When increase the temperature, what happen? Some more amount of sugar also dissolve. So with increase in temperature, the solubility of solids in liquid is increases. But here what condition here? Solubility of this here dissolution is endothermic. Dissolution is endothermic, means they want energy. If delta H is positive, then only this occurs. When the solubility of solids in liquid, that is what decreases with increasing temperature. When dissolution is exothermic. Dissolution is exothermic. When delta H is negative, the solubility of solids in liquid decreases. When delta H is positive, that is solubility of solid increases with increase in temperature. This is. Next one, pressure. Pressure does not affect the solubility of solids in liquid. Solubility of solids in liquid. There is no significant effects on pressure on solubility of solids in liquids. Next one is lattice energy. What is lattice energy? Means the amount of heat required to separate a mole of ionic substance in its ions. So that is called what? Lattice energy. For example, NaCl, if we take NaCl, this is ionic substance. So your amount of heat, the amount of heat required to convert into Na plus Cl minus ions. This ionic substance is converted to ions when the amount of heat is required. How much heat is required to convert the compounds, ionic compounds in its ions, that is called lattice energy. Now this lattice energy also to affect the that is what? Solubility of solids in liquid. Now it is about endothermic process. Endothermic process means what? Delta H is positive. Delta H is positive here. Positive. Heat of hydration. Heat of hydration means the formed ions is there, no. Those ions are, they form hydration. They form hydration to ions hold the water. These ions are to hold the water by ion dipole bonds. By which type of bonds? Ion dipole bonds. The formed ions are the form hydrated. The ions are to hold the water molecules by ion dipole bonds. Ion dipole bonds. When heat is liberated during the process, hydration during this process means what? Hydration process. Now it is exothermic. So here there are two types of process. If lattice energy is greater than hydration energy, now the system is going to be cooled. When lattice energy is less than hydration energy, the system going to be heat. The system going to be heat. So this is lattice energy and heat hydration. Next one, what is the effect of nature of the solute and solvent? Nature of the solute and solvent means if lattice energy is smaller, hydration energy is more, that compounds are easily soluble. The ionic compounds are easily soluble. When the ionic compounds are containing less lattice energy and more hydration energy, the ionic compounds are easily dissolved. When more lattice energy, less hydration energy, the ionic compounds are do not soluble. That is nature of the solute in solvent. So this is depends upon means the solute solvent particles depends upon the nature of lattice energy and hydration energy. This is effect of solute and solvent particles. Okay, so this is the about what the solubility of solids in liquids. Solubility of solids in liquid. Then coming to solubility of gas in liquid. So here solubility is two types. One is solubility of solids in liquids. Second one is solubility of gas in liquid. So now this is about solubility of solids in liquid. Now second, solubility of gas in liquid. What is solubility of gas in liquid? What are the factors to affect? Okay, we will discuss now. Okay, right. So next one is solubility of gas in liquid. So already we have explained about solubility of liquids, solubility of solids in liquids. Now coming to solubility of gas in liquids. So what is solubility of gas in liquid? Generally it is explained based on absorption of coefficient. Absorption of coefficient. Now what is the absorption of coefficient? The solubility of gas in liquid explained based on one process. The process is called absorption coefficient. What is absorption coefficient? So it is explained by, it is defined as the volume of the gas in ml. Here the volume of gas we have to take in ml that can be dissolved 1 ml liquid of solvent, liquid solvent. The volume of the gas in ml that can be dissolved in how much amount of solvent here? How much ml of solvent here? 1 ml of liquid solvent. So it is what refers to what? Gas in liquid? No. Here the volume of the gas, we don't know how much volume, but that is dissolved in liquid. Now here liquid how much? 1 ml of liquid solvent. That is called absorption coefficient. That is called what? Absorption coefficient means same as like solubility, the amount of solute dissolved in 100 grams of that is solvent. No. Same as the amount of gas here, not amount, the volume of the gas dissolved in 1 ml of liquid solvent. That is what absorption coefficient. So what are the factors to affect the solubility of gas in liquid? Same as solubility of solids in liquids, temperature, pressure, and hydration, lattice energy. They no, but here mainly they are four important factors to affect the that is solubility of gas in liquid. First one is nature of the gas. Generally gas are two types: liquefiable gases and non-liquefiable gases. Liquefiable gases. Generally liquefiable gases are means what? These are the diffuses more means these are the gases which are the fast diffusers. they are diffuses easily. These are called liquefiable gases. Carbon dioxide is an example for that kind of gas. So easily liquefiable gases are more soluble in liquid. For example, carbon dioxide. If we take carbon dioxide, oxygen and hydrogen. When compared to oxygen and hydrogen, carbon dioxide is a liquefiable gas and it is easily dissolved in carbon dioxide. Right? So carbon dioxide is what? Liquefiable gas. Next one, nature of the solvents. Some solvents is containing nature of the solvents means here when the solvent means gases like the solvent. For example, the gases capable for forming ions in aqueous solutions. Some solvents they are in gases. They are some gases. For example, hydrochloric acid is a gas. Now, hydrochloric acid is a solvent, one type of solvent, but they are capable to form ions in aqueous solution. That kind of solvents are more easily soluble in liquid. Means easily soluble in liquid. Means the capability of gases to form ions in the aqueous solution. That kind of solutions are gases. But here gases, we have to explain about gases now. Some solvents like gases, they are capable to form ions in aqueous solution. Example is HCl. HCl is one type of solvent and it is also gas. But after dissolving the solution, they form what? Ions, H plus and Cl minus. HF plus and Cl minus. But it is a solvent at the same time gas, but they are capable to form ions. This kind of solutions are more soluble. More soluble means they should be form ions. Then solubility is increases. Right? So this is nature of the solvent. Next one is temperature. Temperature means what? When the solubility decreases, increase in temperature. So solubility of gases decreases when increase of temperature. If we take this is a solution. So now, so this is applied temperature. Now it is converted to vapor. Now this vapor is converted like gases now. If temperature increases means the solution are converted to vapor. How they are dissolved? Not dissolved. So that is when temperature is increases, rising temperature, solubility of gas decreases. Solubility of gas decreases. When temperature decreases, then what happens? The vapors are converted to liquids. Means the solubilities take place. Right? So rising temperature, the solubility of gases is, that is what decreases. Right? Next one, next factor, that is pressure. So this is very important. The pressure of the means the solubility of gas in liquid. How the pressure is affected, that is explained based on Henry's law. So that is very important. So next one, effect of pressure. Effect of pressure. See what is the how the pressure is affected. So next one, how the pressure is affecting on solubility of gas in liquid. So it is explained based on Henry's law. This is very important. Henry's law. What is definition for Henry's law? What are the applications? What are the limitations of Henry's law? Very important. So Henry's law, how to define me? The mass of the gas dissolved per unit volume of the solvent is proportional to the pressure of the gas. Here M indicates what? Mass of the gas dissolved in solvent. Mass of the gas dissolved in solvent is directly proportional to the what? Pressure of the gas. Here P is equal to what? Pressure of the gas. Now M is directly proportional to P. Now we can the proportional you have to convert into is equal to, now we can written as M is equal to K into P. You have to write constant. Now here K is equal to what? Henry's constant. Henry's constant. This is a one definition. But the frequently used definition, well-known definition, you have to write this definition only for board level. Okay, now this is well-known definition and frequently used definition. That is what is the partial pressure of the gas. Here P indicates the partial pressure of the gas. But what phase? Vapor phase. The partial pressure of the gas in vapor phase is proportional to the mole fraction of the gas. Here X indicates what? Mole fraction of the gas. Already you know what is mole fraction. Now we can write P directly proportional to X. P is equal to Kh into X. Now Kh is called Henry's constant. The partial pressure of the gas. Here see P is equal to what? The partial pressure of the gas in which state? Vapor phase or vapor state directly proportional to the mole fraction of solution. This is well known and frequently used definition, right? So now we can written as P directly proportional to X. P is equal to Kh into X. Now Kh is called what? Henry's constant. What is the relation between Henry's constant and solubility? When high value of Kh has high values, the solubility of gases in liquid is less. Kh and values are high means when the gases, if we take up 2 or 3 gases, the gases which containing high value, which gas is containing high Kh value, that is less soluble in liquid. When the gas has low Kh value, that is more soluble. Keep remember this one. So now we have to draw the graph, partial pressure of the HCl gas and mole fraction of the HCl gas present in cycle hexane. It gives the straight line. It gives the straight line. That is indicates solubility of gas. So now what are the limitations of Henry's law? So Henry's law is applicable at certain conditions. That is pressure is not very high. Pressure not very high and temperature is not very low, but they have to maintain some optimum. Next one, gas is not highly soluble. This is the one limitation. And the gases does not undergoes, that is what dissociation. One more is the gases do not react with, means do not react with solvent, do not form any compounds. They are maintained individually. They are present. Do not means the gases do not form any compounds with solvent. These are the limitations of Henry's law. Write any two limitations means you have to write these. These are the conditions only. At these conditions only Henry's law is applicable. If condition changes means Henry's law is not applicable. Right. So what are the applications? Generally, carbon dioxide is present in soft drinks or soda water. So the carbon dioxide is never reacting with solvent, but it is present inside of the that is what glass or any other. So how it is sealed means the increase of solubility of carbon dioxide in soda water or soft drink, that carbon dioxide is inserted into the solution, means sealed under high pressure. This is the one application. Why the soda water and soft drink they contain carbon dioxide while you are open, when gases come outside. So how the gas is soluble in soluble in liquid, that is explained by what Henry's law means. Carbon dioxide is containing less Kh value, means that is already high Kh value means lower the solubility. Carbon dioxide is containing some specific Kh value, then only carbon dioxide not dissolved in that water. Not dissolved means what? They contain high KH values. Now the carbon dioxide sealed under high pressure. This is one application. Some cases when the sea divers are enters into the deep of the sea. That time they carry the one cylinder. That cylinder they containing that is helium, nitrogen, and oxygen. So when under the means when you enter the deep means the pressure is more. When pressure is more means the solubility of gases is more. So that is why you have to take this one helium, neon, argon. These are the helium, neon, oxygen. These are the less soluble. So that is why if to means if you not brought this means they are going to get what bends is one type of disease. If you got this means they avoid the from this one condition. This condition is called what? Bends condition. If enters into the deep of the sea, the solubility of gases is more because the pressure is high. Now they got bend diseases. To avoid this condition, you have to bring this is mixture of this one. Use diluted with this one cylinder. That cylinder is containing this is helium, neon, oxygen. These are the less soluble gases to avoid this disease. At high altitude, the oxygen level is very less. So at this condition, they form anoxia. Anoxia is a disease. So to avoid that one means what you have to bring that is to have to carry with oxygen. So these are the applications of Henry's law. So this is solubility, right? So tomorrow going to explain one more topic, right? Thank you.